All right. It is a pleasure as always to be here. This is B. And today, we wish to send a Happy New Year to you, as well as to lay some context to help fortify you for the year to come, and to speak into what some call spiritual bypassing, but what we'll call just simply ungroundedness. Especially as things get more and more hectic and confusing and uncertain, and as the narratives between truth speakers and truth seekers online and the mainstream narrative grow further and further apart and more distinct, it can become more and more difficult to understand what's happening in this reality. And the more difficult it is to get the lay of the land and to understand what's happening, the more uncertain you are personally about your own safety and security, the more fear comes up. This is a very similar message to our message to patriots, in that it's a normal biological response to have a certain amount of ungroundedness, meaning it is normal to have things in your life that you're unable to be with fully, that you're deeply confronted with. And in fact, it's ideal. That is quite literally your evolutionary edge. And soul, divinity, is pressing you deeper into that evolutionary edge so that you can become more of who you're really here to become in the world. So the question for today is not, how do I purge my being of all ungroundedness? It's more so, how do I ground into the uncertainty? How do I be willing to face even the most uncomfortable things in my life, knowing that I can't quite fully be with them, knowing that it's challenging, and knowing that that's incredibly normal? So the reason why this message is coming through here in a more public manner now is because of the current state of the world, and because of things that are very likely to play out in the coming months and throughout this year. These specific timelines, which again are just probabilities, there are no true predictions of what's going to come. None, ever. You can dial into things that are very likely to happen, but these potentialities are shifting always. But in many of the potentialities ahead, there's a level of destabilization for many people. That's something that we want to be able to help fortify, so that those listening, those here now, can help to anchor in peace for the rest of the world, so that you can keep your cool no matter what happens. Because the truth is, in soul, there's never really a reason to be afraid of what's coming, because no matter what comes, soul will lead you through the most ideal path through that. Your intuitive pathways, your own deep knowing will always get you through that. And when you look through history at survivors of some of the largest atrocities in your recent past, you see that many of them spoke about this exact same thing, trusting their own intuition, trusting an unknown force that helped them to make sense of the world, even though logically they shouldn't have been able to. So things are shaking up. There's uncertainty in the air. In that uncertainty, how do you stay grounded? How do you keep from, this is the alternative, the unideal alternative, how do you keep from spinning into a manic frenzy driven by fear and projections of the future that aren't actually true, that are taken to the extremes of what may or may not happen and often are incredibly unlikely to happen. How do you keep yourself from spinning into that manic frenzy and making decisions from that place? Because again, as we'll continue to say time and time again, it is not your thoughts or your emotions. It's not the frenzy itself. It's not the fear. It's not the panic. It's not fight or flight. It's not the thoughts themselves that create or have an impact on your life. It's the actual decisions that come from those places. If you can ride that out without making any decisions in your life, it has zero impact on your life other than the uncomfortable feeling, having to be with that for that period of time. But it is your decisions that create and which piece of yourself you are deciding from. So when we speak to groundedness, we're really speaking to how do you come all the way back down into your soul truth, into the intuition that people have been describing for hundreds and even thousands of years. How do you come down into your own soul truth and make decisions from that unshakable, steady, precise, efficient, true place, and not from the manic frenzy that comes in those waves of fear and uncertainty? Specifically for those listening now, the large majority of you who are spiritual people, there's one core thing that's in the way of that groundedness, and it is the ungrounded spiritual framework of many New Age ideologies. If you believe that you are a powerful creator and your thoughts and emotions are creating the world around you, you will shame yourself into a spiral and make decisions from that place every single time. It doesn't matter what intention there was at the time of that particular transmission or teaching coming through. It doesn't matter whether the teachers themselves are light or dark or something in between. What matters is the effect that these ideas have. When you see yourself as having to filter through your thoughts and emotions because you are afraid of your power to create, you will end up making decisions not realizing that your thoughts and emotions don't actually do anything other than cause discomfort, and you will make decisions from those places and make manic decisions that do create, that do alter your timelines, that do change your life. So here very specifically, we want to remind you that the only thing you are here to do is to trust yourself and to dial into whatever's here. And that in what's here always, for every single person on this planet, there's a level of discomfort that is normal, that is ideal. The question isn't, how do I feel good all the time? The question is, how do I face exactly what's here in this moment? The question is not, how do I create what I want? Because that's not what this reality is about. You did not come here to have every fanciful dream come true. You came here to radiate your essence out into the world and to be yourself here. Soul is guiding you there always. And your biological desires or little inklings of things that you want that are programmed in for a very, very long period of time from birth onward, through marketing messages, through external pressures. Your desires are not the thing that is ideal for you. And this is the sad and hard truth that many people in their midlife crises discover very, very quickly, that it's not about the money, it's not about the cars, it's not about the houses, and it's not even about feeling good all the time. That there's something more to this life. There's a higher purpose here. And the only way to truly find deep, sustainable satisfaction in life that is grounded and constant, consistent, is to know that exactly what's here before you is the thing that's being orchestrated by divinity for you to become more of who you really are. That the discomfort before you, you're feeling so strongly because your soul is beckoning you into that discomfort. When you know this, and you begin to feel that wave of uncertainty and emotion come up, you don't ask questions like, what did I do to create this? Or what can I do to get rid of this discomfort? You ask questions like, what's really here? What's really true in this feeling? My body thinks I'm going to die. My body thinks my city is going to be nuked. My body thinks that everything and everyone is on a trajectory to mass extinction. My body thinks that this is the end. What's actually true, what's actually here. I call in my truest soul essence. I call in my oversoul. I have to be disconnected from the collective. I have to be disconnected from energetics that aren't truly me. What is really here, soul? What does my truest intuitive guidance actually say about what's here right now in this moment? And more often than not, it is, you are safe. Continue to settle in, breathe, find your peace. You are building a deep degree of inner solidity now through being able to be with this level of discomfort, so that when everyone is feeling this level of discomfort, you are the calmest, steadiest person in the room, in your neighborhood, in your network, and you are able to be a voice of reason and truth through any amount of uncertainty. You are here to radiate light into this planet, and that takes a level of stability, that takes a level of certainty within the uncertainty that your truth is solid, that you will always be taken care of, and that no matter what your body is feeling, it's not your fault. It is your evolutionary edge that you are pressing into more every single day, every single moment. It is the thing you came here to face. When you know this, you are steady always, because you don't need to feel good. When you know this, you are steady always, because you don't need a certain amount of money in your bank account. You don't need a certain number of eyes on your work or your expression, because you know that what you're doing is the most ideal path forward from soul, from divinity for your specific circumstances. And what could possibly be better than that? Your only job in 2021 is to continue to face reality as yourself. And as you do this, the ripple effects from that go far further and deeper than you could ever imagine. So please continue to face reality. Continue to remember who and what you are and why you are here. You are here to discover who you are as the soul and to radiate that essence out into the world. And the way you do that is by trusting that and making decisions on it in your life. For which direction you'll go in your own individual life, for the things that you'll say and express out into the world, for the businesses that you'll create, for the work that you'll do. In every single aspect of your life, every decision you make for soul, from soul, ripples undeniably. So please continue to lean into that evolutionary edge, into that discomfort, knowing that you did nothing wrong. Face certain doom, your body's cries of certain doom. Face certain doom with the knowing that divinity has your back always. The more you do this, the more grounded and stable you'll be, not just now, but for the rest of your life. And the more grounded and stable you are, the greater impact you're able to have simply through your being and through every single thing that you create. before we head out, we'd like to bring you into the thing that's most uncomfortable here in your life right now, calling up the discomfort of what's truly here and buffering out everything else that isn't here. If you'd like to participate, take a moment and call in your oversoul. It's as simple as I call in my oversoul. You can say this externally or internally. It works all the same. Take a few deep breaths and settle in. Make another request. I ask to be disconnected from the collective. This helps to buffer out other energetics that aren't you, that aren't here. Settle in, breathe, and call in your truest soul essence. I call in my truest soul essence. From this place, notice that there's still discomfort, that you didn't pop into pure peace and bliss. That space is not what you're here to do. You can shove aside the remaining tension, but you'd be shoving aside your mission and purpose. You'd be shoving aside your evolutionary edge for something more convenient that doesn't move you forward, no matter how convincing the idea may be that it will. This discomfort, the slight tightness wherever it may be in your body, the wandering thoughts, the odd feeling like you can't quite get settled to the degree that you know you could in an ideal world, that you're not as clear as you could be in an ideal world. That slight tension is your evolutionary edge. Continue to settle into it. And every moment you spend engaged with that particular reality, with that difficulty within your body, with your being confronted, it loosens, and your soul is able to deliver guidance for how to resolve that, not just now, but for the rest of your life. That is what you are doing here. Line by line, bit by bit, priority by priority, your soul is walking you through every single tension within your being that keeps you from being exactly who you are. If you keep going, you walk down a path of liberation, and before you know it, you are more of yourself than you ever thought possible. And the only thing you really did was engage with reality and trust yourself. There was no special sauce. There was no secret strategy. There was no manic leap. There was no huge change in your routine or your diet. You simply faced what was already here, breathed, settled in, and trusted yourself and kept going anyway. Doing your best to make decisions from your connection, from your own truth. As this transmission and these ideas land, we'd like to remind you to continue to put a pin in this idea that your thoughts and your emotions are not creating your reality. Do not worry about how you feel or what you are thinking. They are not going to ruin your life, and they're not going to ruin anyone else's life. It is safe for you to be confronted. It is safe for you to press into your evolutionary edge. It is safe because soul is guiding you to the most important tension that's here in your life to be able to resolve it so you can become more of yourself. This is not a death sentence to your life. This is your life's mission and purpose. Breathe. And start to come back. Your connection is the most powerful thing that you could possibly be connected to, that you could possibly be pulling from or referencing, especially now in this new year. if you continue to refine this connection over trying to figure out the ideal strategy for how to move forward, your life will get easier because you will be liberating yourself in every moment. Please continue to liberate yourself. Please continue to allow divinity to make your life easier, to help you become more solid, to help you become a more steady and grounded leader. And to fulfill your life's mission on this planet. Please remember what you're doing here. With that, we'll take our leave. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for exploring this. It means the world. You have no idea how rare it is in this day and age to be able to be with these energies, to be able to be with something so deeply confronting, to be able to be with your life's mission and purpose. The very fact that you are here means you have the bandwidth to be able to face reality to a deeper degree than a large majority of people. Please continue. You have no idea who you are on this planet. That's only going to continue to illuminate. You're only going to continue to see more and more of it. But the only path there is for you to settle in and face everything that's here. Keep going, keep trusting, and welcome home. So much love to you, and I'll speak to you at a later time. Bye for now.